Am I a rude one for giving my friend first aid on a sensitive area? This happened the other day. I, 23M, was at a pool party at my best friend Greg's house. There was also a slip and slide set up and people were using it. My friend Amy used it and screamed. The whole party turns to her, and she's clutching her breast and there's blood just pouring out of her hand. She has slid over a rock and cut herself. I'm in nursing school, so I run over to her and ask to see the cut. She pulls her hand away, and I see that it doesn't look too serious, but it definitely needs attention. I turn to Greg and ask him if he has a first aid kit, and he says yes, in the bathroom inside the house. So I walk Amy into the house and grab the first aid kit. I pause for a second and ask her if she's okay with me helping her with this, or if she wants to do it herself because of where the cut is, and she says no, I trust you and I want your help. So we go into the bathroom and wash out the cut. I look at it more closely to make sure it isn't serious. I put some Neosporin on it and bandage it up nicely. Amy thanks me and we go back outside. A couple women come up to Amy and ask if she's okay, and one of them, Sarah, gives me a dirty look and they kind of lead her away. I go back to where I was sitting and Greg sits next to me and says some people were talking shit out here. I did my best to defend you, but I figured you should know that they were talking shit about you helping Amy. I asked him what he meant, and he said that Sarah was saying it was creepy how I sprung into action when I saw an opportunity to play with a boob and a few of the other women and one guy agreed and were making fun of me. I was pretty upset about that, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I just ignored it for the time being. Later that day, though, I was sitting by the fire pit and Sarah was sitting across from me, and nobody else was around the area, so I asked her why she was making fun of me for helping Amy. She said I guess that was a little mean of me. I'm sorry that I did that. But I just thought it was kinda weird how you saw her boob was hurt and you ran up to her and insisted to help. I know you're in nursing school, but I think you should have let a girl handle it. We all know first aid too. I thanked her for her apology and I don't like confrontation, so I just said alright, I guess I'll keep that in mind from now on. I stepped away to go to work and this post blew up. Thank you all for your judgments. I think I did the right thing by helping her in this situation, and Sarah was really kind of a bitch here. Also, I realized that Amy might not know that they were talking shit about me, so I'm going to call or text her and inform her about all this. Update. I called Amy. Asked her how the cut was healing. She said it was healing well, and she was keeping an eye on it. Then I asked her if she knew about the things Sarah and the others said about me, and what Sarah said at the fire pit. Amy had no idea. She said the other women were asking her if she was okay and what happened and all that, but she assumed they were worried about the injury, not my helping her. And Amy was absolutely pissed and went to the friend group chat and told the people that were shit talking a new asshole, especially Sarah. Sarah and the others apologized to me in the group chat, but Amy kept going and said I shouldn't accept their apologies because they sat back and talked shit on the one person who stepped up and helped her. Amy also asked Greg not to invite Sarah to the next pool party and Greg readily agreed. A few of the others tried to say that was too far, but Amy just told them to shut the fuck up and do something next time someone's hurt instead of sitting on their ass and insulting me. Reactions.
Not rude. If it come up again, I'd suggest you remind all those folks that bystander effect is real and no one else was jumping in to help. Knowing first aid is only valuable if the person enacts that training in an urgent/emergency situation.
Seriously, why didn't she help if she knows so much about first aid? And what if it was more serious? She specifically said she trusted him. How immature is this person for making medical attention into something to make fun of?
So, you asked, the person in question said they were okay with you doing it, and then a bunch of people that didn't rush to help are complaining about it. Not rude. OP Sarah should have rushed there if she wanted to help so much. A general rule of thumb is to not wait on injuries, in my opinion.
Not rude, and do not consider that the next time you need to help someone. No one who hasn't been to medical or nursing school can understand how much we look at naked people and how much we do not think about sex or anything sexy when we are working on or examining sensitive areas of the body. The only person whose comfort mattered was Amy's. The rest can suck rocks.
Am I rude for not letting my daughter choose the theme for her birthday party? By 29am, the mother of my daughter Quira. She just turned 6 this past weekend and we had a party with her extended family and friends. Unfortunately, the party was less than her expectations and she hasn't shut up about it, and I'm afraid I might have done something wrong. A few weeks ago, before buying themed invitations and decorations, I asked my daughter what she wanted the party's theme to be so that I could buy themed invitations and decorations. She said she wanted an Isabella-themed party, the name of a minor character in the recent Disney TV. I decided on a compromise, that we'd have a Disney princess-themed party with all the princesses rather than just one. Much to my daughter's dismay though, when the decorations arrived, we determined that none of them featured Isabella. She also wanted me to have her at least dress up as Isabella, but reason 2. Ultimately Quira was completely unhappy with her Disney party, and the guests went much happier. Quira's school friend's mom confronted me after asking my daughter why she had been crying the whole time, and in short, gave me hell for my party planning decisions. My mother, Quira's biological grandmother, offered to throw a party at her own house the next day, and she'd buy every Isabella thing she could find at the store, on the condition that she bring my daughter and I don't show up at all. But I declined and kind of faked a seizure to avoid any further attacks because I was just completely exhausted. Everyone left while my daughter's face was covered in cake and tears, but mostly anger. I was just trying to do the best for both my daughter and myself, but everyone ended up disappointed in me. Am I the rude one? Reactions.
Extreme rudeness. You could have at the very least thrown her an Encanto themed party. It's a fantastic movie, and not a theme to be embarrassed about. Also, are we just gonna breeze by the fact that you faked a seizure? Huh?
You are rude 100%, are you trolling? You'd have intense embarrassment that the adults in the party won't be familiar with the cartoon characters your daughter is a fan of. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? Your mother is a hero, and I hope to God you could at least make it up to your daughter and let her attend that party at least.
Rude. Isabella is one of the more popular Disney characters for young girls right now. She is healthy, strong, and a good role model. You should be encouraging this. Your mama is a good grandma and you should be ashamed.
Very rude. It was her party, not yours. But you made it about you. Who cares if people aren't familiar with the princess she wanted to be? You decided your possible embarrassment was more important than your daughter enjoying her day. Selfish.
Am I rude for refusing to let my future husband lie about the house he and I purchased during his groom speech? My fiancé, 37 male, and I, 33 female, got engaged few months ago. We are getting married soon, and invitations were already sent out. Right now we are focusing on much smaller details. We've also been busy moving into our new home that we purchased together, 30% of his savings plus 70% of mine. I have to say that saving up for this house took most of my savings and prevented me from enjoying the things I love spending money on. My fiancé sat me down yesterday to talk about his groom speech. He talked about few points, but what made me upset was when he asked if I would be okay if he mentions the house we bought and say that he was the one who bought it. I was a bit taken aback. I asked why, and he said it's just a confidence boost during the speech, and that's it. I said I didn't feel comfortable with the idea because I think that it's unfair not to acknowledge the fact that I'd sacrificed so much to be able to buy the house. I reminded him of how much I contributed, but he said this doesn't change that it's our house, so it shouldn't matter to me if he said he bought it himself or we both did. I refused because then people will always think the house was bought by him, which is something that will never change, no matter how hard I try to prove that I contributed 70%. He got mad at me and said that I was really overthinking this whole thing and making a big deal out of it. We got into an argument and he started yelling, saying it's just one favor he's asking me to do and yet I'm making this ridiculous, small request my hill to die on. He's basically sulking, and now he's out and refusing to answer my call, so basically he started the silent treatment till I cave in. Am I rude for making this my hill to die on? My fiancé comes from more humble background, and money has always been a struggle for him and his family. It's become obvious how insecure he can be when it comes to money, especially when he compares how much I make vs how he makes. I've never made him feel as less than, and he has never took advantage of me in any way, and so his recent request really cut me off guard to say the least. Reactions.
Not the rude one, and I would bet he's been telling people that already.
Definitely. That would explain why he won't back down. He's already in too deep. I also wouldn't be shocked if Op ends up finding out he got money from someone for the house and spent it on something else. Also, not rude.
And why does this even need to be a detail in the speech at all? Wouldn't something like looking forward to growing our life together in our new house suffice?
Am I reading this sentence correctly? He's saying it shouldn't matter to you if you both bought it, but it's okay for it to matter to him so much that he's going to announce it to both your families and your wider social circle at the wedding. Woo, the hypocrisy. In my opinion, this is a hill worth dying on. Yes, on the surface level it's just words in a speech. But the deeper issue is that he does not value your massive contribution to your shared life, and he wants to paint a false picture to your shared friends and family denying it. He's basically setting you up to be painted as a gold digger when he's the one benefiting from your scrimping and saving. I have a hard time believing this is the only instance of this level of disrespect in your relationship, and if you ever have kids, I'm certain you can look forward to him moaning to all your friends and family that he does so huge work as a father. Read. Changed one diaper while you actually shoulder the majority of childcare. If you don't have kids, I imagine it will be something else like that. I really hope I'm wrong and this is just temporary brainworms on his part. But either way, you have not been rude.
Girl, I hope you have a prenup written up for the love of God.
Agreed. Even if a prenup isn't the right thing in this instance since it's a joint purchase, I hope that OP gets some legal advice. This guy is acting like a manipulative child, and at almost 40 I'm sure that won't change. This guy is legit throwing a tantrum because OP won't allow him to allow about buying a home that he only contributed a third to.